6 people are waiting, so that's exciting.
We love you, 6 people.
Here we go.
That is
Go
a lot of
live. Yeah, it's my loud keyboard. Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Misty Winkler. I write and podcast at simplyconvivial.com about homeschooling, homemaking, and doing life cheerfully. And I have something on YouTube that is playing in my headphones right now.
Oh no.
So I'm going to figure that out. With this, I have headphones, so that's a good thing. But okay. I am joined today by my friend Pam Barnhill, who will take it away while I try to turn off YouTube in my earbuds.
I am Pam Barnhill, and I have returned to the land of the living. Yay! I haven't been here the past couple of weeks, but I blog at pambarnhill.com. I have 2 homeschooling podcasts, the Your Morning Basket podcast and the 10 Minutes to a Better Homeschool podcast. And one of those podcasts is about morning time, morning basket, which is my favorite part of the homeschool day. And then the other one is just general homeschooling help. If you're new, if you're not new, we talk about all kinds of great topics on there.
Yay, I found it.
Okay, good.
There was
a little speaker.
Yeah, there was another tab open, or I mean, a whole other window behind my main one that I had tested the link on. So it just went live, and I'm like, and it was playing YouTube ads. So I was like, whoa, what's going on? So today's Valentine's Day. Do you guys do anything for Valentine's Day, Pam?
It depends. Like, we don't, like, my husband and I never go out for Valentine's Day because we'll go out like before Valentine's Day or after Valentine's
yes.
Day, but not usually on Valentine's Day, right? Because that's just asking for trouble. And so I was worried about this because I was actually gone. I was on a trip, and I was like, oh. So my husband ended up getting me and Olivia flowers, and he got cupcakes. So that was it. That was what we did this year, and I didn't have to do anything, which was fabulous.
Nice. That's more than we do for Valentine's Day. We are not Valentine's Day people. My husband, 21 years ago now, proposed on the day after Valentine's Day, just to be sure that it was not
Valentine's Day related.
Yes. We did nothing on Valentine's Day, and then he proposed the next day. So
oh, how much fun.
So, but we
try to just keep it like real. Like,
yeah.
So, like, in the past I've gotten the kids like the little things of chocolate, or, you know, like had something for them out or something like that, you know, like at their spot at the table in the morning, but it's always very small. It's never a big deal. And so he told me he got the cupcakes yesterday, and I was kind of envisioning that we would eat the cupcakes today, but by the time I got home, they were all eaten except for one. That's nice. So
they left one for you.
Put them away, you know, and save them for actual Valentine's Day. But they will.
Yep. So we actually had our 6th week of the term, which we still counted. It was our scheduled 6th week, which means that this is break week because we do 6 weeks on, 1 week off. And we kept it even though we didn't do school moving week. So we had a 6-week term, but we did only school 5 of those weeks, but we are still taking our break week. And we did catch up on most of the work. So we're fine. We're ready for a break anyway. So, and of course, last week the weather was great. And this week that's break week, it's going to be raining.
That stinks that it's, you know, it's not doing what it's supposed to when it's supposed to.
It doesn't it know?
It must. It really must. So I have missed out on the story because you've been here with Abby while I've been sick. But like, so how is it going with the move? I mean, you don't have to rehash everything because other people have probably been here and I haven't. But how has it been going with the move as far as like getting back into the swing of things?
It's been pretty good. I think that especially because the kids are older, and so a lot of their work is independent. It's gone fine. It has taken longer. School takes more of our time, which, like, it kind of makes it like after I was like, what's going on? I was like, oh, well, just all of we don't realize how much our surroundings just cue us to doing the next thing and make things easy because it's like, oh, and then I go do this and it's just kind of automatic. But like instead now it's like, well, where is that thing? Or, I can't even really tell what time it is because all my cues are totally different. So it's taken longer, but we've kept up with most things. I mean, we have a pretty straightforward, streamlined, slim school year planned out anyway. So the main difference is that our classes with friends are on Zoom, which is working fine. It's not ideal, but it's nice that it's working because that lets us touch base and stay on track. It's meant that things I would have dropped have not been dropped. So that's good.
Right. Right. I love the accountability of doing school with somebody else. So, yeah. Okay, so I just realized I have chicken boiling in the kitchen.
Oh.
And I haven't checked on it in a while, so I'm texting Olivia like, can you check the chicken, please? So,
those teenagers, they're nice to have.
I know, right? They really are. And you can text them and they go do things for you. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that it's going well. That's interesting about it taking so much longer because, like, you're just not in your normal spot. Like, you wouldn't think about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of like, okay, so I flew this weekend somewhere, and my suitcase actually got left in Atlanta yesterday because of a weight distribution problem on the airplane.
Oh.
And so apparently, just because it's winter and people are wearing more clothes as they fly and packing heavier clothes, it completely messes up those little bitty airplanes.
Interesting.
So every flight I was on this weekend was a little bitty airplane flight, and like they were seating nobody in the second row. Last night they asked somebody to move to the back of the plane, and they left like a whole cart full of suitcases off the plane because of the weight issue. So it's amazing how you wouldn't even think about that. You put 40 people on a plane, and just the fact that they're dressing differently and packing slightly different clothes is enough to throw off the weight of the plane that they've got to compensate for it. So think about what this is doing. Just those little bitty things in your school day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so even the smallest things can make the biggest difference. I think it's the point.
Have rolling consequences that you don't even really think about.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just teeny tiny things. So that was very fascinating to me. I'm seeing a correlation there between the two things.
Yeah. So you have
I'm
been
still here without makeup or anything.
Right. Well, thank you for coming anyway. We still like to see you.
Teen girls. I borrowed some from Olivia. I'm much sparklier today than I normally am, but I was able to borrow some makeup, so it's good.
Well, so you've been sick, right?
I've been sick.
Tell us about how homeschooling has been going with.
Yes, I have the respiratory issue, which shall not be named. And so I was sick. Well, my kids were sick for about 3 days, which totally messed up a week of school. And then the next week, I thought I was getting sick, and my husband was sick. And so that kind of messed up the week of school. And then the following week, I was really sick, and it really messed up the week of school. So today was the first day we have had a complete school day in 3 weeks. And it's just, I mean, the kids kind of limped along and did some stuff without me. And we would kind of like, they did math because they work with the math tutor anyway. And there were just things. And then I had two who joined Civil Air Patrol. And so they've been doing like all their brand new Civil Air Patrol stuff, which has been good because it's like, okay, this is like school. So they've been studying for like rocketry test and leadership test and different things like that and taking those. So we've had kind of partial days of school, but today was actually our very first day back with a full day of school in 3 weeks. And it went really well. So
Good.
I have noticed for whatever reason, this particular year, we do not struggle nearly as bad with coming off of a break as what we have in the past. And I haven't quite
Interesting.
put my finger on what it is. Maybe it's just the consistency otherwise. But like there were no tears, no complaining, no, they were just there. They were ready. We just did it today. And it was fabulous.
Oh, how
So,
old is your youngest?
12. So 12, almost 15. Will be 15 in just a few weeks, and 16.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's
But
good.
yeah. So we had a great morning time. We picked up our book again, our two books again, and picked up our next chapter because that was the stuff that really wasn't happening when I was sick because you can't read if you can't breathe, and breathing is important to reading. Who knew? But anyway, so yeah, but it was good. It was a good school day, and it felt really good to get back to what we were supposed to be doing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So in honor of Valentine's Day, we are going to talk today about are we going to talk about only what we love, or are we going to say like what we love and also don't love? We'll see how much time we have.
Yeah, because talking about what we don't love, it might just be really, time expansive.
What we love about homeschooling. So,
Yes. Well, I always like to say that I love homeschooling in the macro sense, if not always in the micro sense, right? So I love like the big parts of homeschooling, the big picture of homeschooling. That doesn't necessarily mean that I love every single minute of every day homeschooling my kids, and I'm okay with that. I think that's I think that's an okay way to be, You don't have to be absolutely in love with every second of the day to still have a positive homeschool experience and feel good about what we're doing overall.
yeah. Yeah, and so the goal doesn't need to be loving every single minute where, if
Right.
there's something that you don't love, it's like, oh no, it's not great. We have to fix something. And it's like, well, maybe what you have to do is just keep moving forward. Remind yourself of what you do love, that big picture. Yeah, just the homeschooling lifestyle is great, honestly. It was funny. So yesterday we were at someone's house for dinner, and they were a homeschooling family, but had put their 9th grade boy into private school. And so I was asking her how that was going and what her like time commitment was with that setup. And so she said, well, I have to drop him off at 8:30 in the morning and then pick him up at, it's like 3:20 or something. And Knox, my almost 12-year-old, was sitting there next to me, and his face just like went, and he said, you have to do school for 7 hours every day, no matter what. And so then he said that, he only has to do school for 7 hours when he's not working very well.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, my garbage man was early today. He was coming in to collect up the garbage. I was like, you might want to wait. You'll be on screen.
Just
like collecting the garbage. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something like we have a school bus that goes through our neighborhood, and it goes through early in the morning, like 7 a.m. and then comes back through again at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And I'm like, you don't want to be on that school bus. It's a
For
long time to have to be away from home, in non-stretchy pants, functioning as a person in society. Oh, goodness.
Amen.
So, if you're gonna, wear non-stretchy pants and function in society, you want to do it in much smaller doses. For sure. So, yeah, and I have always said that one of the things I love is not having the stress of getting my kids out the door in the morning.
Yeah.
Is certainly one of the things I love. I know through the years we've been involved in co-ops, and co-op days were always the most stressful. It always took a lot of being proactive to get set up so that, it wasn't quite as stressful. And then also, I love the fact that sometimes I get the worst of my kids, but I also get the best of my kids.
Yeah.
And so I know that, and I've often told people this, it's like people who like struggle with the idea, like, I'm not sure I can homeschool because my kids come home and they're just in a rotten mood and we butt heads and everything. And I'm like, but you're not getting the best of your kids because you're getting what's left over after they've held themselves together all day. And
Yes.
so now they walk in the door and they know that they're in an emotionally safe space to just let everything out. And then they have to do homework on top of that. So I think that, I really do get the best of my kids. Yeah, I get the worst, but I also get the best. And I know from watching them interact with other adults out in the world that they do give them their best when they're out there, and I'm very proud of my children for doing that. They do when they go to church and go to religious ed class, or, when they're at karate or piano or something, they're giving that adult their best. But I also get that best too. So,
Well, because the home is an emotionally safe place,
yeah,
I think that is a piece that improves their learning. Like, I think they are more open to actually learning in a home setting.
yeah,
I think, a lot of people who only have a public school or classroom type experience think of, oh, school happens at school and home is where you're just relaxing. And so it could be kind of an easy assumption maybe to make that home isn't where school should happen. Like, that
right.
seems weird or unlikely. But because it's a safe, comfortable place, your guard is down, you're just yourself. And so yourself is more open to receiving that learning. So,
Yeah. And so much of learning has to do with making a mistake and then doing it again. And because you feel, comfortable making that mistake, you're more willing to just put yourself out there and make it. It's like, okay, well, this didn't work. Let's figure out what can, So, yeah, I think so too. That's a good point. Yeah.
And everyone who's here live with us, share in the comments, or if you're not live, if you're watching the replay, share in the comments what you love about homeschooling also.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I just say I love morning time?
Yeah, well, I was waiting for that.
I love morning time. I love morning time. And actually, this year we're doing science together, and we don't technically do it in morning time. Like today we stopped doing morning time. And I don't know why we don't. But, well, when we started out at the beginning of the year, my youngest was doing something else for science, and now he's finished that and he's joining us for science. And so I guess that's why we didn't. So it's like at a separate time of our day, but it's still like one of my favorite times a day is just learning together with my kids. So even more so than just morning time, just, learning together with multiple kids, and we're, sharing conversations about what we're learning and playing off of each other and going back and forth. And, it's just a part of the day that we really enjoy.
That reminds me, I like overhearing the sibling conversations that happen because they're learning similar things, or they overhear each other's lessons, or we're reading the same book together. And, that just comes out in different unexpected ways when they're interacting, outside of school hours even. And that's another thing that I love when I overhear.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I like that too. So, yep. The other thing I love is when they know something and I know I didn't teach it to them.
Yes. Oh, that's the best. Because there are also the times where you know that you taught them something and they don't know it.
That's true too. Yes. It's like, you don't remember us talking about this? Yeah. So that's something else that I love. It's like, oh, wow, you have a lot of knowledge and I didn't give it to you. And so therefore you're learning how to learn. You're learning how to like find the things out that you want to find out and stuff like that. So that's a really great thing too.
Okay, we're getting some great answers in the chat too, so I'm going to read them for the video and the podcast. So,
okay.
Rachel says that she loves that she's there to help her child deal with his anxiety over doing all the work.
Yeah.
Christina says that she loves the relationships that they've built while learning together. Dawn says that she loves hearing the music practices most of the time, which let's say Dawn's a better woman than I am.
Play piano and not violin. So let's just throw that out there.
Well, neither are mine. Although I feel like my kids actually have all gone up a notch in what they're playing and their ability. So it's not as it's definitely way better now. And
yeah, it's like the little classical pieces are coming out, or sometimes like Olivia's piano teacher will let her choose like a pop piece, she was playing Eleanor Rigby the other day or something like that. It's like, oh, this is actually fun to listen to.
Right. Rebecca says that she loves integrating their faith into everything and that she's in control of the curriculum.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. To both of those.
Yes. Yes, I was, so I'm, trying to meet new people or whatever. And so I was talking to someone who's at a co-op that I was like, oh, well, maybe I should, think about a co-op, just to get the kids connected to other kids or whatever. And then she said that, it's just one day a week. And I'm like, okay, this is sounding doable. And then she said, and then they get the homework, so, this is what we do for history and this is what we do for science and this, and then they just give you the homework that you do all the other days at home. And I'm like, those are not my favorite books. No. Those are not. I don't think I can have someone else tell me what to do.
Yeah. It was like I was in charge of the co-op, so.
Well, this is. I was like, maybe we can find people here who will come do what I'm doing.
Yeah. Even so, it still got to where it was like, I could pick, but then it was like, then we were stuck in the schedule. We couldn't slow down. We would have been really stressed out with the past 3 weeks. We really, really would have.
Right. Yeah.
And I won't say that I haven't been stressed out about how little school we've done over the past 3 weeks, but I know I can just pick up where we left off,
Yeah.
So.
Yep. All right.
Anything else? Any other comments? Great comments.
Yes, Robin says that she loves the one-to-one, heart-to-heart conversations with her only child. That's priceless.
Awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need stretches of time where you're just together, for those conversations to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I taught my 12-year-old how to iron today.
Ooh, life skills.
I know, right? And it was like, if he had been in school, we would have had this teeny tiny window of time between the time he got home and everything needed to be done and the time that, he goes off to Civil Air Patrol to teach him to iron. And so it was great. He finished everything else, and then we went in there and learned how to iron. So
nice. My husband did Civil Air Patrol in middle and high school, and so he learned how to iron everything. And so he still sometimes irons things, and I'm mostly like, I don't know, it looks pretty fine, doesn't it?
Well, he asked me, he says, "Have you ironed a lot for Dad's uniforms through the years?" And I'm like, "No." Was I supposed to? Dad's never asked. Maybe Dad's ironing in the hotel. I don't know. I don't know.
Probably.
I guess, yeah. So,
All right. Well, this has been fun catching up, and it'll be great getting back into the swing of things. I feel like this term for us has been, all about moving and settling in and figuring out some new routines. So, like all break weeks, I have high hopes and big plans for this week on catching everything up and cleaning the whole house. Of course, this house is only 1,400 square feet, so it seems like maybe that might be doable.
good luck with that.
Yeah. But then we'll be back at it next week. All
Awesome.
right. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you, Pam, and thank you, everyone, for joining us here.
Thanks, Misty.